welcome to another episode of Full Circle. It has been a long time. We've had a long break. They actually do know that.
Oh, they know that.
Date nazar aa jati hai. No, it's. I think we were all busy traveling and working and
No.
1 month.
2 months I would say.
No,
August में की थी हमने.
Last month की थी. And that was also after a break.
Yeah.
Last month was August.
But,
or not August, actually.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
In October.
Yeah.
Because we are it's been a
Damn.
I mean you were busy
I was
writing
busy.
your
Yeah.
script.
Yes.
I don't know if that was supposed to be known or
That was supposed to
secret?
be known. Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
ठीक
Yeah,
है.
we talked about it in the last one.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think so. You posted on your
we did.
Facebook as well.
हाँ ना सबको पता है
Plot
कौन सा
बता
मैं तुम वो फिल्म मैं बता देता हूँ ना
Script-
पूरी।
So-
मैं ले आता हूँ मैं
Inciting
Yes.
incident.
नहीं exciting छोड़ो end
अच्छा
बताओ
end बताओ.
end बताओ direct.
Spoilers
Yeah, right.
for Rahul's
Everybody
screenplay.
dies.
everybody
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Yeah.
Including the production team.
Including production, including the writer director, man.
Okay.
That's gonna be the.
That's a
That's it.
twist.
Yes.
Plot twist.
My bad.
Oh,
Now I can't do it because you fucking spoiled it.
yeah.
Tamiz, Rahul, Tamiz.
What?
Okay.
We curse her all the time. Come on.
Not in the first 3
अच्छा.
minutes, bro. YouTube
And then she's
demonetized
gonna
कर
actually
देगा.
stop
थोड़ा सा
and
आगे जाके.
record again.
No,
नहीं,
she's
नहीं.
like
वो
चप्पल उठा के हमारी.
4 दफा वापस she's stopped recording and फिर बाद में she'll be like
The shenanigans continue.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
Quit.
I'm out of here.
कोई और यूनिवर्सिटी में ट्रांसफर ले ली
Yeah.
नहीं, यहाँ नहीं पढ़
Sabbath.
but नहीं so we I think we've all mutually decided what we're going to talk about, and I think based on the timings everyone does
Big
expect us
Bang
to talk
Theory, no?
about. Yes.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Joker.
Oh. Sure.
देख ली ना सबने?
We are
Yes.
नहीं.
going to
नहीं देखी?
dive
You
deep
didn't see it?
I did.
Okay,
I
good.
did.
into the Joker.
Yeah.
This is going to be very spoiler heavy.
Yeah, very very spoiler heavy. So if you haven't seen Joker, pause the video, go.
Go
एक
to
second,
your
wait.
nearest cinema.
Wait, our production team में Fazila Amar,
You
Joker नहीं
haven't
देखी?
seen it?
Oh
Yeah, what
my
the-
god.
Like,
Oh, come on.
like, sorry.
हुसैन को भी बुला दो, उसने
हाँ.
नहीं देखा ताकि उसकी भी हम लोग we
Oh,
spoil
हाँ,
his
सही है.
like
Call
we
him up,
spoiled
call him
his
up, call him up. Yeah.
Oh
I think we spoiled his Game of Thrones.
Yes, we did.
Didn't you knew we were going to talk about this?
Game of Thrones के अलावा कुछ और भी था.
I think काफी चीजें थी.
काफी चीजें.
Avengers.
I have watched it
Avengers,
twice
yes.
already, dude. तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो?
Yeah, they're busy. They're working. They're
हम भी काम
studying.
करते हैं, ऐसी
वो-
बात
वो तो
नहीं है, हम
अभी
भी
समय
इतने
से शुरू हुआ है.
मतलब हैं, but
हाँ,
इतने भी नहीं.
तो?
अरे देखो इतना मेहनत कर रहे हैं. Getting-
कौन मेहनत यार यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ कौन मेहनत करता है सीरियसली.
अच्छा,
कर रहे हैं.
अच्छा जी.
नहीं but
Back on track.
Okay, okay,
Back on
okay,
track.
Okay, okay.
Take control, Navhan.
Joker.
Save us.
Yes.
Joker. And Rahul, not the we're not talking about the Akshay Kumar wali Joker.
यार मैं गलत देख के आ गया हूँ. Sorry, I think I should just.
You downloaded
I
it.
downloaded the wrong one. Yes.
Thank you.
उसमें I think button
Take
है
voice.
इसका.
Pata-
वो
No,
No.
nope.
Oh. Yeah, this one. सारे दबा दो. Okay.
खेलिए.
It is going to be
Okay.
off the rails this
Yeah.
week, guys. Prepare. Put
This
on
is
your
chaos, man. This
seat
is
belts.
chaos.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, you know.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
It makes sense.
जोकर के
Yeah.
मूड में आने
Makes
जो
sense,
लोग
makes
सारे
sense.
यहाँ पे जब गोलियां हो रही हैं.
But
But yeah.
obviously, so it's gonna be very spoiler.
Let's do
heavy.
one thing. Let's have like a 5 or 10 minutes ka segment spoiler free a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to have our overview,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna jump in, and then
Right.
we'll she can like put spoilers on the on the video, ताकि सबको पता चल जाए.
पता चला
Yeah.
मेरे
यहाँ
मुंह पे.
इसका
यहाँ पे
spoiler
लगाना है.
लिखा हुआ है.
Just his face.
नहीं
Yeah.
just on our foreheads like all तीन दफा लिखा हुआ है.
Tracking is
Yeah. In case people forget. This
Exactly,
is the
yeah.
first one. Yeah. Good call.
हाँ नहीं yeah so
Yeah.
but hopefully I mean the good thing about us being on YouTube they can actually pause it watch
Yeah.
it and come back
Yeah.
so
Nobody
that.
would
Do that.
do that if people want to yeah before I give my opinion you've seen it
Twice.
twice
Yes.
so I guess you can speak in most detail about
I
it.
want to
but-
go. Actually, I want to go the last because I
Okay.
have so many thoughts. I want to see. I don't want to repeat
Okay.
myself. That's
Okay.
the point.
So,
yeah.
so we'll start with.
Yeah.
And I was so
Spoiler free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just watched it last night, so
So
I'm
he's
gonna
really
be
fresh.
really
So
fresh, so
yeah,
that's good.
so you should go
no, so
first.
I want to hear what you have to
Okay.
say.
Someone start.
Someone
for
start.
God's sakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping it would not be as good as it was. Because, it's from the
Why
same
so
superhero
serious,
bunch. I know
Rahul?
that. But it really just blew my mind, man.
Yeah.
Honestly. It was so good in terms of course, the production design, the colors and everything. The direction and the bloody performance. I mean, of course, we all know that. We're just repeating words.
Yeah.
Abhi
That's the
say,
thing. Like,
But, yeah.
I feel like talking about the technical aspect of the movie is kind of
Mhm.
pointless because
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
so well done.
Exactly.
The more interesting conversations are happening about
is
how
the
the
character.
audience
Mm.
receives
Oh,
the movie.
man.
That's the most fascinating
Okay.
thing about. That's the most. I'm asking my students. I'm asking my family. Me and my brother had a 1.5 hour conversation. He was in
Right.
Dubai. I was in Karachi. I was like,
The first
when
thing,
does that
first
happen?
First thing,
yeah.
before we, get
Yeah.
into anything else, how was the crowd when you watched
Oh,
it?
they were amazing.
Was
even
the crowd
though-
laughing?
At appropriate moments, yes.
What were the appropriate moments?
So
in
again,
your
that's
mind?
spoiler.
That's the thing.
वो
That's the
हम
thing.
बात
Okay.
करेंगे. But yeah, I want to. What
So
about
I
you?
watched it last night.
Yeah.
It was 11:45
Oof.
p.m. on a
Tuesday.
weeknight, but weeknight. But audience was decent. Kam log the, but
Yeah.
it was decent.
Yeah.
I do feel there were certain audience members that were there, especially some young kids were there. So I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, man.
Both my
एक तो-
screenings.
एक तो-
Same,
एक
same.
तो-
My
एक तो 11:45 on a weeknight. Why are young kids out there? That's
That's
the
true.
father in me coming out.
That's true.
But then, like, I mean, ऊपर से Joker. I do have a feeling that again, like you said, that you wanted to be bad because you have this thing. It's a superhero movie,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
but
do
it's not a
feel-
superhero movie.
and it's not. And I
Yeah.
think I mean that what we I commented under the post you put.
Oh
that
yes.
I think a lot
yes.
of people probably went in thinking that because it's Joker, there's going to be it's Batman
action.
related,
Yeah.
it's going to be action and all of that, and it's not. It's
I mean, there is action,
It's a
but
character-
it's
I
a
mean,
character study.
it's a character
you know.
study.
It's,
Yeah.
it's literally in the logline, guys.
Yeah.
and that's
It's just in the
go
name,
to
it's in the
IMDb.
name, man.
It says a character study on a mentally deranged guy
I
called.
don't
Okay.
don't
So
check
that's it.
IMDb of films,
yeah.
but
and
it's in the name, man.
yeah, and I think that's why it's kind of unfair when people are comparing this
Ah.
Joker with Heath Ledger. I think both of them were
Yeah.
amazing in their own regard, and for me,
Hmm.
this wasn't Joker. This was a man.
I understand
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is a man becoming the Joker, and I think that
Or someone
someone, yeah,
who represents what it means to be Joker.
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Or
You know?
I mean,
Not the Joker.
yeah, I mean Heath Ledger was the Joker
Yes.
because he was. I mean, I
He was
could-
already there.
Yeah, but that's a different timeline, right?
Which,
And
which is
the
amazing.
different
character,
stage.
What I
in
what I
that
loved
person's
about
life.
what I loved about his performance
Hmm.
and the way they designed this Joker, if I watch this and I watch The Dark Knight after
Hmm.
this, I can actually imagine
Exactly,
the same Joker growing up to be that.
Yeah, that's
kind of.
Not me.
Yeah,
I mean,
not me.
yeah, totally,
Really?
No.
totally.
I think the
I'm
chalo,
saying.
okay.
I'm saying that's.
Are we jumping in right
No,
now?
no,
Are we not?
I mean,
not
spoilers.
not giving any shit
spoilers.
for
let,
the
let me
spoilers.
explain.
Yeah,
Let me explain
yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm saying they built up the psychosis of
Hmm.
Joker so well
Hmm.
that this guy became, he was pushed to the edge to the point that he became this great iconic villain.
Hmm.
And I imagine over the years as he lives, now he's not Arthur anymore. When
Yeah.
the movie ended, he's not Arthur.
What's the sign
he's
in the
not-
beginning?
he's
What does it
Joker,
say?
Right?
What's the sign in the beginning that? What does it say?
Everything
That
is
everything must go.
everything
must
must go. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he, so
Talk
he,
about
Right.
direction.
exactly.
Production
No,
design.
So he, I see. So imagine him living as a Joker for a few years, becomes the Joker that was Heath Ledger,
Hmm.
and it was great that they built it up. And what I loved about
Hmm.
Joker that in the past they didn't address the Jack Nicholson Joker,
Hmm.
that this guy has serious issues.
Mental issues.
Mental issues.
Yeah.
That's why he became a Joker. Obviously, again, Jack Nicholson Joker, great Joker
Yeah.
for that time, for that film, a brilliant Joker.
Hmm.
And he was born to play the Joker
Yeah.
as well, you know. But that was a different time when you know the Joker was meant to be a gangster and
I
stuff
think
like
I
that.
think if you see Joker throughout the years, you see the Joker that represents that time.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, like Jack Nicholson one was the like late 80s, 90s.
Yeah. Even this
uh,
one was 81.
But like it is a period piece, but
Yeah.
it reflects
Today's
today's.
Oh, it
society,
reflects.
yeah.
It is timeless
know?
in a way
Yeah.
because you see, you know, he is going to be the same person in any era.
Jesus
You
Christ.
can't really match up with that. But also one thing I was concerned about when before I went to watch the movie and even when I watched the trailer and teasers and the promotion and stuff was, I think I thought like watching Dark Knight, the Joker, the beauty of the character was in its
mystery.
Yes, mystery
Yeah.
and the myth
Yeah.
and the legend that he
Yeah.
was. You don't know
Unreliability.
why
That's
exactly,
the word.
and you didn't know the reasons he was the way he was.
Because that's the
And this Joker,
Yeah.
they actually tapped into it, and I thought that was
Beautifully.
going to I
Beautifully
thought that
done,
was
yeah.
going to demystify him and demythologize
Yeah.
him, but it actually didn't.
But especially
Yeah.
that
It
line,
didn't.
especially that line, and that's why I feel that the Joker is the best villain ever written,
Yeah.
is because when towards the end during that interview, he's asked, "Aren't you afraid?" He's like, "I have nothing to lose,"
Yeah,
and that's what makes Joker the best
that
villain
sums him
because
up.
he doesn't care. And that's where it starts from. This is the this is the moment.
So yeah. So now we're
Spoilers,
going into
spoilers,
spoilers. So like the
spoilers.
hell with
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
I think the most powerful line in the movie is that Robert De Niro asks him, he is wearing the clown mask and the clown riots are happening.
Yeah.
And he like, is this a statement? Is this
Yeah, he's like,
political? He's
no.
like, I don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
And this is the movie. This is the movie. The movie talks about a lot of different things, from mental issues to wealth disparity to government to Thomas Wayne and every single thing. The movie is not talking about one specific thing
Yeah,
as a message, as
Yeah,
something to take
right.
away with, because that's the character. You don't know what he is.
where
you
where
can't
his
put him in a box.
inclinations lie.
You
True
can't
that.
put him
yeah,
in a box,
yeah.
and that's the beauty of it is, however, people are going out of the movie and taking away one part of whatever the movie resonated with them,
Yeah.
and that's the movie for them. This is a mental issue. This is glorifying violence. This is about the comic book Joker. This is about Martin Scorsese ki Taxi Driver and King of Comedy ki homages or something like
yeah.
that. So like,
Oh, the King of
every-
Comedy one, I really
like
I could connect it
You
to
know,
it.
actually,
And it was really
there's
cool.
a fun trivia.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese was supposed to produce this.
I think
then
he did the executive
No,
producing.
he
now
he
then.
was supposed.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Okay.
He backed out because he got busy with the Irishman.
yeah.
But he was supposed to be attached to
Yeah.
it. So
That is pretty cool.
I think he's still attached to it spiritually.
Yeah, well, he is.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, they brought in De Niro because of
Yeah,
the
exactly. That's my
whole
point. Like
connection.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I think that this is why I love this movie, is it sparks conversation.
mhm.
You like it or not, you cannot ignore this movie.
What do you think of
This
the-
is sorry to cut you
Yeah,
off. And I
sure.
think this is the number one reason I fell in love with cinema in the first place. It speaks to something. It stays with you after you leave the
Yes.
cinema. I cannot stop thinking about this movie. It's been like 5 days. I have been listening to the score.
Same, yeah,
I've been
yeah,
talking
same,
to
man.
every single person I can I'm talking to my mom knows about this movie.
Right.
Like
Right.
Jio पे वो FBI की threats वगैरह की उस पे थी, like she knew about this and she was like मैंने भी जाके देखा, मैंने कहा
Yeah, there was a
easy.
kid beside me, man, and he was
Dude.
not laughing at anything, and he was like, "Shit, I don't know what I'm doing."
So
here."
like let's
like,
let's tangent over here a bit, because he also first screening there was a kid right behind me and he was scared as shitless and he was asking his mom, can we go on the wall? nahi. One of my friends, I was so pissed off that I didn't want to like engage, because I would have
Good job, mom. If you're
so
watching.
so like one of my
That's what
friend out of
should happen to kids.
sympathy turned around to check on the kid, and the kid was like looking the other way into the seat. He was looking into the seat. And
See,
I'm like,
I also blame our cinemas for that. They should not
so
allow.
Nice.
so
Nice.
I
Yeah.
No, they should. they should not allow. But if you bring your kid with
That's
you,
on you.
deserve it. Yeah, that you.
So
they deserve it as
I
well.
I booked like we went 8 people went to the screen. I bought the tickets like 2 weeks ago, and so I asked the cinema ticket ke jo boys hote hain, box office wale. I'm like, please do not allow any kids in in this movie because it's been getting so much press about violence and everything. And they're like, sir, हम बिल्कुल नहीं अलाउ करते. मसला क्या होता है, अगर कोई फादर आके टिकट ले रहा है, वी डोंट नो उसमें बच्चा है नहीं है.
Say,
और जब वो
right.
जब टिकट के उसमें जाते हैं, दैट्स टू लेट फॉर देम बिकॉज वो बच्चा पीछे जहाँ पे भी है, लाइक इट्स देयर लाइक 100 to 300 people. Like I'm not saying that shouldn't happen. I'm just saying the responsibility is majorly on the parents.
Yeah, true that.
And वो क्या कहें आप, you know, like यहाँ पे अगर आप कोई कंप्लेन कर दो, वो like तुम कौन होते हो बोलने वाले. So I'm like, but like I just wanted to defend the cinema owners a bit because I'm
not blaming the cinema owner.
Right.
I'm just saying I think they need to either put out an advisory that, you know, please don't.
It's adults only. It's written on the ticket.
Simple as that, yeah.
People don't. I mean, yeah.
So फिर we shouldn't complain about
Yeah,
that. Like they will have
like,
nightmares all their life.
Is not
they will have
dangerous.
to
You are
pay for
not taking
therapy for
responsibility
30
for
years.
your actions.
It's on them. It's a bad investment.
And
But
यही
it's on them.
कहेंगे कि फिर हम लोग filmmakers blame होते हैं कि हम लोग एजुकेशनल चीजें नहीं बना रहे हो, ये नहीं कर रहे हो, वो नहीं कर रहे हो.
Anyways,
No, there should have
coming
been a
back.
message. Why didn't Joker talk about, you know, corruption?
Yes.
Why didn't Joker talk about yeah,
Shouldn't have said that.
shit, okay.
उसने पैनामा
beep
गेट के
it,
बारे में
just
क्यों नहीं
beep-
बात किया?
Just beep it.
Just beep it, yeah.
Don't beep the fucks in the shirts, but
Yeah.
beep.
Yeah. Pakistan.
Yes.
नहीं, but
Anyway.
Anyway,
Times two.
moving on. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the most interesting thing about this movie is how people are viewing this movie.
I know I think everyone has a different takeaway with this, and I feel it's and that's what in the end that's what cinema is as well. I mean,
Not all the time. That's the problem.
As in,
This
that's
like
it's
after
supposed to be.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
And after so long, we have given
Yeah.
this amazing piece of artistic beauty,
Yes.
and the press is bashing
Yes.
the hell out of it.
I'm loving it because there are so many horrible and horribly written articles on like everywhere. IndieWire, I don't know.
I read this
everywhere.
one article in the morning, and I got so mad. He was comparing the Joker with Fight Club.
Yeah.
And saying how
Yes.
Fight Club is the timeless movie and Joker will never be that.
I didn't even click on
Why?
that.
I mean,
Saw it.
no, I clicked on it to see कि what.
No.
I just read it to see like what is this guy talking about? Why? Don't compare.
Did you see the one I shared? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That was
dangerous
so
one.
stupid.
That was so stupid.
Like,
Three Billboards
did
is
you
one
see
of the best movies I've ever
dangerous
seen.
cinema.
So the to add to what
Yeah.
so Rahul shared this article
Yeah.
where someone wrote 15 or how many
7 or something.
7, 8
dangerous
movies,
films.
Dangerous films. I'm like
And there was Minions in there.
Minions.
There was
And
fucking Minions
Incredibles
in there.
was
Yes, Incredibles, Minions, and उसमें और भी 6-7 थी, Sicario, and I don't know. Like, you're like
No,
what? But no, सही ठीक है, but like Mini.
It's art. It's art. You cannot put art in a box and
How
say
can
that
you
this is to blame.
But
And what do you think?
Remind the world 2000 साल पहले कौन सी movies थी?
Movies नहीं थी.
Where all the revolutions happened and the crusades
Right,
happened
right.
and the Egyptian warlords
Video games भी
happened.
नहीं थी.
Yeah, like I think Max Payne 1.5 आया था शायद उस जमाने में.
अच्छा.
2000 years ago.
Right. Yeah, the हम मोंजोदड़ो में खेलते थे. I'm sure. Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think we're off track again.
No,
but yeah.
We are off track because of the stupidity of the press trying to put this movie in a box where the movie is just judge me for what I am.
Right.
You know, just judge me for what it is.
Yeah.
Don't judge it with a political glass or an ideological glass, like glasses basically. Like
So that's your right to, say anything about it. That's okay.
Yeah.
But don't say it shouldn't exist because it is dangerous. What
yeah,
makes,
I agree with
my
that.
question
Yeah.
is
that's the
what
point, yeah.
makes a movie dangerous or
Yeah.
irresponsible? What do you think?
Like
I
the number one.
Yeah.
I was surprised the Clockwork Orange wasn't on that list.
Yes,
that should be
exactly.
on the list.
And the funny thing is, it's been so long when a movie makes you feel like a Clockwork Orange. I was so uncomfortable watching
Yeah.
Joker
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah,
Just like I
exactly.
was watching.
You're supposed to
Clockwork
feel
Orange.
uncomfortable.
Exactly.
You're not supposed
Exactly.
to root for him.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to like
I mean,
him.
I was rooting for him, but that's
No,
another
but
thing.
you're supposed to question that. Like I was
F-
sitting there,
too much
and,
information.
and every moment when I wanted to root for him, I was like,
No,
I
can't.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
made you question yourself.
It's
Yeah,
which
of
is
course,
which
of
is
course. That's the
brilliant,
point.
because that's the point.
That's the point.
Th-
Right.
This movie is Joker is not a hero.
He's not.
He's not even an anti-hero.
No.
He's a villain.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
not even a Deadpool or a Wolverine or any
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of these
of course.
like Christian Bale, American Psycho. You are not supposed to understand him. You're not supposed to sympathize with him. You're not supposed to root for him. You're just supposed to sit there and see how X, Y, and Z turn someone like him
You're
into
supposed
the
to
Joker.
understand him.
Yeah.
Understand him, but know that he is wrong.
You can't even understand him.
You
right?
can
You
understand.
can
That was the whole
understand
point
him.
of the
I
film.
think
I
think that's the whole
I
point of
understood.
this Joker.
Yeah. You
I
can,
think you can understand the unreliability of his narrative.
you can understand why he
You can,
became
of
who
course.
he is.
That's the
But-
movie.
It's also
No.
not just. I mean, judging by this film only, you could see why he became what he became.
Yeah.
You understood it. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you are on his side. You want him.
Yeah, you don't
going
like
fucking,
it doesn't matter if you
batshit
agree with
crazy
it
on the
or not.
streets.
Whatever the
Yeah.
movie says,
yeah, of
you know,
course.
happened. It's just like you can't say, like you said, like which I 100% agree. You can't say that this will inspire violence or something like that. I am like nothing happened. Nothing happened. The only article the CNN could pull up with was one guy rooting for every kill in US. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
it.
The second guy, I was the second
Like,
guy
chalo,
in
do mil
Pakistan
gaye.
in Karachi, man.
And this movie
So
made
what?
You should have a podcast with him.
I would just love to, man.
This-
Bring him as a guest.
this movie made 200 over
Skype
250
it.
million worldwide
Yeah,
in
no.
3 days.
Right.
It made more money than Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
It made more money than Justice League. And while
Mm,
being
care about these
R-rated,
movies,
while
yeah.
being
And
R-rated.
also, I think it's number
And-
3 most highest rated from on IMDb as of now.
No.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure about IMDb.
Uh-huh.
Rotten Tomatoes pe to
Yeah.
it got trashed by the critics.
The
Was a
critics,
recent
come
one,
on.
but
I mean, being a critic, I can tell you that's bullshit. You know.
But how can like I don't know, like I think the two worst things that I saw out of this, press of this movie is that it's supporting violence and like glorifying violence. That's bullshit. This is not even the most violent movie of the month.
It's not.
yeah.
Of the
it's really
month.
not, yeah.
Rambo just released in October.
Yeah.
Rambo.
John Wick, man. John Wick.
चलो वो मई में आई थी चलो
Still
2-3
pretty,
महीने हो गए
but,
कोई
like,
मसला
still,
नहीं
one
है
of the big movies of the year. John Wick. Rambo I
The
haven't
only
seen.
difference is this movie treats violence with the respect it deserves. It's not
Exactly.
supposed to be cute, nice,
Yeah.
checker yaar, oh, it's not
Yeah.
supposed to be a power fantasy. It's supposed
See,
to be
the-
loud, disorienting, chaotic.
Not
The
loud.
gunshots of this
Yes.
movie
Oh.
were like a nuclear bomb going off. Every single time. Like the second time I was watching the movie, I was a bit closer to the screen. And the last shot I can spoil it.
Yeah.
Like when he shoots
Yes.
Robert De Niro,
Yeah.
like bang, like
And that
it's-
That was
the
amazing.
sound design in this movie is so. It's the sound mixing, because अभी
Yes.
तो मैं
Yes.
कुछ भी नहीं बोल रहा ना. अभी तो I'm just talking about the bullshit that everyone else is talking about. Because I wanna dive so deep into every single thing, because I wanna talk about the favorite scenes, the favorite moments, because music of this movie.
Man. And it's by the same person who did Chernobyl.
Yes.
Cheers, man. I don't know how to pronounce her
Yes.
name. I would pronounce
I
her
can
name.
only say her first name, Hildur.
Yeah.
And then the last name was like Gian.
Man.
Like hats off to her. She destroyed this movie.
Just
Like in a very
elevated
good
it to a fucking legendary status.
way. I haven't
Yeah.
seen a scale of ramping up an artistic integrity.
Yeah.
Chernobyl and Joker in 1 year. Are you effing kidding me? What?
I think two of the greatest works of art
Yeah.
of the 21st
Yeah.
century, at
She-
least. I would
she
say.
has
One
been
of
In the
them.
last 20
One
years,
of them.
I mean, of course, two of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chernobyl and
Yeah.
TV and cinema.
TV and cinema, yeah. Like the cinematography, the sound mixing, because there's a scene which I am like, yaar, the way Todd Phillips used diegetic sound and non-diegetic sound in this, when he's imagining the interview, when he comes out, of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
you know जो पर्दे के पीछे से निकल के आता है और वो शो चल रहा होता है
Oh right, yes,
और
yes.
वो आके बैठता है एंड पहले क्या होता है तो वी आर ऑल इन द डायजेटिक वर्ल्ड मीनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ द
Yeah,
मूवी
I know.
ठीक है ना हम वो आर्थर इज प्रिटेंडिंग टू हैव अ कॉन्वर्सेशन विद मरी एंड ही लाइक हाँ क्या सीन है फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता क्या होता है पूरा डायजेटिक साउंड स्टार्ट्स टू फेड अवे एंड देन वी start to hear the audio of the audience as he is perceiving it. So हम diegetic sound को non diegetic में ले जाते
Right.
हैं
Yeah.
and they do it so beautifully.
वही ना
वो जो अपने
Yes,
knock knock joke
yes,
के
yes,
practice कर रहा था
yes.
I'm like
नहीं
what the hell?
नहीं and उसका ये नहीं कि they brought in वो they messed with our like you know what we would perceive as reality
yep,
and
yep, yep.
and
Yeah,
illusion.
and they did that a lot of times.
Yeah,
actually.
especially with
There
the
are
in the
many-
stand-up comedy club where he is performing.
There's so
we
many.
don't see them cheering or
Yeah.
booing, and it mixes into the.
Yeah.
Yeah, but before we talk about other elements, I
Yeah.
want to talk about I mean the director of
Hangover.
or Hangover,
War
Road
Dogs.
Trip,
Yes.
Old School,
Old School is a really good movie.
Haven't seen that.
Old
Really
School,
good movie.
There was
Hangover,
Road Trip I've
the
seen,
writer
yeah.
of Borat.
No.
No, wait,
way.
what?
He's the writer of Borat.
He wrote this?
He wrote.
I fucking love Borat.
No,
I didn't know he,
Todd Phillips is the writer of Borat.
He also wrote Joker
Yeah, no,
with a partner.
No, I know, but like I didn't know Todd Phillips wrote
Yeah.
Borat.
Yes.
Like I
He
didn't know as well.
he
Yeah.
was
Okay.
nominated for an Oscar,
Okay,
I think, for Borat.
Okay,
for the
that
script.
was
Wow.
damn. All right.
And now this movie.
Like it's just like you know
Unbelievable.
for me it's all about where to start talking about this movie. Like again we have talked about like
It was kind of
it's
like
been
the,
26 minutes since we've
Yeah.
talked and we even haven't actually started talking about the movie.
and it was kind
Yeah.
of like
Like,
my,
we're just like you know settling
touching
in.
upon
We're
it, yeah.
settling in.
it was kind of my my reaction of when I saw, you know, Adam McKay.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when he made The Big Short,
Yeah.
and I was
Oh,
like,
oh,
man, how
right,
did this
right.
guy?
What has Adam McKay done before?
He used to make all these like Will Ferrell movies.
Ah,
Like
because
Step-
I'm watching
Step
Succession now.
Brothers and all of that.
Mhm.
Have you
he's
seen
just like-
Succession?
No.
Oh,
No. Is it
Yeah.
a show or?
yeah, it's a show, HBO
Acha.
drama,
Mm.
beautiful.
Adam
I
McKay-
rewatched FS for Family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that show.
Oh,
Absolutely. I've been on a Bill Burr binge
yeah.
Yeah.
these
Like-
days.
But,
Yeah,
Back-
Bill Burr binge.
अभी
But
आते
yeah.
अभी आते हैं।
अच्छा, सही है, ठीक है.
But it's no, but
Yeah.
but I was amazed. Like I could not. So when I first heard that Todd Phillips did, I was
Yeah.
like, I think I talked about it in the last
Yeah.
podcast. I was like, maybe it could be a good like thing because he's also comedian, works
Yeah.
with comedy and
Hmm.
stuff,
Yeah.
and to create this character. But then it was brilliant because he's never shown this type of work before,
Right.
and he just
It's not even this type of work. This is like the level of work he has pulled off in a dramatic, very dark, very twisted,
Yeah.
very subjective. X, Y, and Z, all the adjectives
it's kind
below.
of like
Yeah.
it's kind of like
what?
it's kind of like Jordan Peele with yeah.
I got a complete.
Mhm.
But like even Jordan Peele was good at what
That's
he
what I'm
like.
saying, yeah.
Todd Phillips was never a name.
No, but he
I mean,
in when it came to
he
comedy,
kind of was
like all his films
Like
have
everybody
been
knows
great.
him about
His films were great.
Yeah,
The
No
Hangover.
one talked about Todd Phillips.
of course he was never.
Yeah,
People
right.
talked about Jordan Peele as Jordan
because
Peele.
Jordan Peele was in front of
Yeah,
the
that's
camera
true,
as well,
that's
right?
right.
So you
That's
can't
true.
really.
That's true.
I mean, just look
Makes
at
sense.
he's made like 10, 15, 10, 12 movies.
Yeah.
Road Trip was his first.
Wow.
Old School,
Our school was really good.
Starsky and Hutch,
Really good.
School for Scoundrels,
Haven't seen it.
and then Borat. He
Really
wrote.
good.
He just wrote the story.
Yeah.
The Hangover,
Really good.
Due Date,
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. was good.
Hangover 2, 3,
Yeah.
and then War Dogs, and then Joker.
War Dogs-
This is his
Yeah.
filmography.
What else I haven't seen? I
This-
was-
War Dog is okay. I was going.
And it's not like he's just been a director. He's like directed and written all these movies.
Right.
So and produced most of them. But I mean,
Yeah.
this is his filmography,
Yeah.
and now he brings us
And then
this
boom.
but we have
masterpiece.
seen this so
Like-
many times with like you said with Jordan Peele, Russo brothers,
Yeah.
Community,
yeah,
like, who?
exa-
and then
Exactly.
making
I
the
haven't
biggest,
seen.
really good.
It's a great
sitcom
it's
comedy.
A sitcom, yeah.
Right. No, I've heard of it. I haven't seen.
It's at least the first 3 seasons,
Yeah.
really good. But like they went from Community to Avengers, and then the biggest movie in the world. I'm like, huh? In
What?
like 10 years.
The biggest movie in the world.
Endgame.
Endgame.
Okay.
Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, buddy, halke ho to jao.
Easy.
So like, we've seen this happen. Like even
course.
the Chernobyl ka jo writer hai, Craig, I don't remember.
Craig Mazin or something.
Mazin something, yeah. Like he has also done X, Y, and Z beforehand, but Chernobyl like stratosphere level pe jaake wo gira hai, and I'm like.
Exactly, but the thing is, you don't expect,
this level of craftsmanship.
It's
from a comedy
perfect
director.
reinvention
From a comedy
of yourself.
director.
Yeah,
You don't expect that from.
But like this is just me as a cinephile, but like I feel like I'm sorry. Jim Carrey is my favorite actor of all time, and for me, the reason is like I think comedy is like a yin and yang to drama.
Of course.
So for me, Truman Show, Man on the Moon, and like Eternal Sunshine, and like Majestic, they like these movies. Number 24, number 23, even though it's not a very interesting movie.
It's a fun movie.
Performance wise,
Yeah.
like you can see that there is a correlation between comedy and really intense drama. So it's not that I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I didn't believe in him that he was the one who would deliver us the best visualization of one of the most iconic characters of all time.
But
like,
of course, I'm sure he must have this darkness inside him. Obviously,
everyone has that.
No.
Everyone has
in terms of cinema, like I'm sure he has it. He must be holding back until now.
I think that's like a rite of passage of an artist, right? Like you slowly build yourself up.
I mean, he built his
name. He's not building yourself up.
I mean, he built.
Just taking a different route altogether.
It's about opportunity.
It's about trying to,
he
kind of
put his trust with the with the investors. Right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, he was
like I think this should be like a case study in Hollywood or something. Like this movie was like fast tracked. Like I have never seen a project before. This shouldn't exist. This movie shouldn't exist because DCEU, Batman and Superman. That's the goal. That's the objective. What right this movie has? Like, why would Warner Brothers produce this? Chahe kuch bhi ho, koi bhi ho. But he made it happen. He had an idea. He had a vision. He attached what a brilliant actor to this movie and like just destroyed.
Killed it.
Joaquin Phoenix,
like
brilliant.
Do you really want to? Is there going to be a sequel to it?
I hope
not. I hope not.
I know he said again.
I heard
both Todd Phillips and
as the money is rolling in.
Yeah, but don't.
They are saying yes.
They shouldn't. They should not.
Because then you're going to connect it to Batman. It's going to be another.
Also, even forget that. Like, I mean, making that actor go through that role again. I mean, I don't.
The moment.
I mean. We've worked with actors. It's not here, but we've worked with them in the US, so we know what they go through to go through a role. And I mean,
and this
I can actually imagine what Joaquin Phoenix must have gone through to get this role out. And I'm
just surprised that he's still alive.
I'm same.
So far.
But have you seen his interviews? Like
essentially, yeah.
But like I want to let's switch to Joaquin because I like wow, just for me I think the best way I would like to like there's so many ways to describe this movie. One of the things I loved about this movie is the line they balanced between absolute sympathy and just disgust. एक tip to यहाँ करते हैं फिर एक tip to यहाँ करते हैं. Like you're supposed like that scene when he shoots his friend in the apartment. It is probably the most violent moment in the movie.
I mean,
sorry, my bad. The knife thing. Yeah, he just like yoink yoink yoink.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then the head banging वगैरह.
The dwarf scene.
So like the most.
That was the biggest laughter I heard in the cinema.
The biggest violent act in the whole movie, at least in my opinion, and the most comical moment happens in like less than 10 seconds.
Yeah. Happened in the same scene.
In the same scene. Yeah. And like that, like a lot of my friends were like, yeah, that was a very cheap way to do comedy. Yeah. I'm like, that's the Joker.
Yeah.
उसको भी देखा है तुमने? He has like वो flower जिसपे पानी निकलता है like उसमें कभी-कभार वो electric shock लगता है.
Oh yes, like, the first scene.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw it again. The second time मुझे realize उसने अब खुद से he pushed the water out of his flower. When he gets beaten up in the beginning.
I saw it today actually.
जब पानी निकलता है. तो पहले क्या करता है, I saw there's a very good breakdown of that
Yes,
scene.
I watched that video.
Vanity Fair का.
आज ही देखा.
तो Todd Phillips talked about कि इस scene में हो क्या रहा है. तो like you know पहले क्या होता है when he's beaten up और जब camera starts pulling back, तो you know he's trying to reach out to the sign to maybe I can still salvage it. But then once he realizes that's not gonna happen, he reaches back into his pocket and then he makes it funny.
Yeah.
At least I can make this funny. Maybe that's the reason this happened. Maybe that's the whole movie, right? He's struggling to make sense of
comedy out of his
is
tragic
like
life.
Why does this keep happening to me? Maybe and like the bathroom scene. Bathroom scene.
After he shoots the three guys right now,
like,
that was just
I'm really
Black
sorry
Swan
guys, but
stuff,
like
you know?
you guys are screwed. You should have watched it already. Like very bad. -2. Anyways. But I want to talk about using Joaquin. Let's talk about the character, what he did. I feel like one of my friends said to me, didn't you feel that his transformation was rushed? I was like, not at all.
No.
He was already this mad. He was already this twisted person. It was just the last few things, the last strings in his life, his mom, his stand-up, his job, that was holding everything together.
Right.
And once all these threats...
The mom...
like...
Okay.
So like, you know, there's so many things that, you know, I feel like it's like his sensory, his brain activity is reverse. Like once we eat food, we feel good, right? What if when Joker eats food, he feels disgusting? I think that's the movie, because once he kills someone, that's when he feels alive.
That's when,
right.
If you notice his body language as well,
exactly.
When he was hunched, immediately he
after this moment, when he comes out of the bathroom, he goes where? He goes into his girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
He opens the door and he's like, buddy,
not even then. When he leaves, when he leaves the subway station.
No, he's still freaked out at that time.
No, but towards the end, like when he's exiting.
Yeah, he's slowly...
You can see
like
that...
He is transforming.
You can see the transformation.
But like when he enters the bath, that's like a cocoon moment. Like, you know, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly kind of thing. Like that whole bathroom is like...
That's a good
analogy. That cinematography, like you have like, kuch bhi keh lo, handheld, 4 feet by 4 feet के कमरे में 35 mm पे आपने full open रखा हुआ है आपने f-stop अपना, and then you go from a low angle mid shot into an insert of his feet starting to dance like a ballerina. Pura one take. Like almost one take, like they do a cut over it, but like एक bathroom में आप दिखा रहे हो एक बंदा is his, like I feel like it's very, I think a lot of people related to that, because I feel like a lot of people are their most 100% themselves in their bathrooms.
Yes.
When they're sing, when they talk about arguments and all that, you know.
And when you just,
because
we're brushing your teeth or whatever, like your normal stuff, but you're looking in the mirror.
You're alone with your own thoughts.
Yes. No one can judge me right now.
Yeah.
It's just me. It's just me with my thoughts, and I can explore those thoughts. Are they good? Are they bad? And that moment, I feel like is like, shit. Like, what the way it's all about showing that, like the idea of caterpillar turning into a butterfly is like done so many times, but the way they show that with the dance and the faded out mirror, and you see his distorted makeup, he looks like a goddamn demon in that shot.
Speaking of dance, when the steps yeah,
it's such a good song.
Brilliant. And but just that scene, him being comfortable with who he is now, and I think that was a transformation when Arthur is now dead and the Joker is now alive.
Talking about visual metaphors for this movie is so the whole movie we see him going up these long stairs, going towards the heavens, but his heavens are all dark and corrupted and overpowering in the beginning.
When he's going
to his
working,
जब भी अपने apartment जाता है, he's always climbing up, meaning that's where everyone is heading, right? But for him, it's hell. Once he becomes a Joker, he climbs down, dancing. It's warm, yellow, sunny outside,
Colors
beautiful.
And in the like early on in the movie
Yeah.
when he's walking down the
Yeah.
stairs, there's written, "Don't forget to
yeah,
smile," and he
then
just
he
does
does
it
that,
like,
yeah.
"Don't smile
Yeah.
now."
Yeah.
I think that was a nice, pretty, like
It was a bit
obvious.
on the nose, but
but it worked.
It works because of
worked.
the scene
Yes.
that happened before of the
Yes.
whole friends.
Yeah.
वो जो punch out करता है.
Yeah.
I forgot to punch out. Thor.
No, that's, you see the aggression is there from the beginning.
No, but you see his confidence.
The confidence thing
coming
is
up,
like, I
right.
think
Confidence
if you
disguised in the aggression.
No.
I think
No,
that's
no.
that was
See the
He's
movie
now
again.
comfortable. He's not
like, he
comfortable
wasn't
with himself.
comfortable showing it earlier on.
No,
but
he's
then
just
he
comfortable with
becomes-
himself. It's not aggression. It's just
whenever he shoots, whenever he does, remember जब वो gun लेके यूं dance कर रहा होता है, that's him.
Yeah.
That's where
Oh,
all the Joker
right,
is out.
yes.
And when he shoots, then he becomes Arthur again.
Yes.
Then he's like a 10-year-old kid again.
Right.
So जो bathroom वाला scene है is where he's like, I
Now
like
I'm-
this feeling.
Like
This is
Arthur-
me. And
like Arthur is dying. Like Arthur is dead. Basically.
everything must go. That's the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
That is
right,
the whole
right.
movie. He
And you see that.
like
Yeah.
I'm like,
First
there's so many things I can
fucking
say.
scene,
Like
yeah.
so क्या कहते हैं for shit मैं भूल गया. Damn it. Someone jump in, save me.
Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot.
The first scene, everything must go.
Everything must go. उसके अलावा like there's so for me I feel like I think music is a very nice indicator of how you should feel about this character because it's not a very empowering score. It's not an Avengers or even Batman की तरह like something rising वगैरह. It's so sadistic. It's so like
It is just there, and it gets under your skin, man.
Oh.
Like, it's so subtle.
It's
I'm still listening to the whole
like
damn album
like
again and
seriously
again.
every
Yeah.
single day,
Yeah.
like on the way to the work वगैरह. Man, like I'm just like I'm just, it's just like so, like I don't want to use the word like like a lot of people are saying, looking at other people's comments, like how can you say, did we watch the same movie or not, like you're saying it's shallow or it's like violent or whatever. It's none of that. It's just like, for me, like I said before, like I think this movie is saying a lot of things, and that's the point. It's not sticking to anything because that is the Joker. He is not political. He doesn't believe in anything. He's just him.
Right.
He's just him. And one of the reviewers coined a very nice phrase, which I feel like is like not a justification for him. It's just like his life phrased into one thing. Not his life, his problems summarized into one thing. उसने use किया था word compliance with inaction, meaning कि almost everything bad that happened to him happened because someone didn't do that thing.
Yeah.
Or didn't stood up for him, like like the funding getting cut, her mom not saving him from
Everything is actually taken away from him because of not doing things instead of doing wrong to him.
Like
except in the first, I mean, even the first scene, they take away the sign from him.
Yeah, like and when
and that is the unmasking of the character.
That moment when his boss says to him, "You need to bring the sign back."
Yeah.
And then his childish response to it, like, why would I take a sign? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's not logical. He's like, the guy's like, I don't care. I don't know what people do. Like, he's like, he's just a boss. Like, And like there's and for me, I think when I think that's the question I want to. When did you realize this movie is going to be just insane? And for me was when the moment when he's in the bus in the beginning and he's like playing with the kid, and his mom turns around and is like, don't bother me, and he starts laughing. I'm like, oh my god! And it's not that he's laughing; he doesn't want to laugh.
And you can see, and again, because of the brilliant performance of him, like him laughing and then him trying to stop laughing, and
the drying of the throat.
Yeah, like from the first laugh, you can't really tell if he's laughing or crying.
Then when
exactly, yes.
This, even in the stand-up club, when he does this, with both I'm like, dude, Joaquin, what are you doing to me?
Yes, but like from the first thing, from the first time we see him laugh or we hear him laugh, you can't really tell if he's laughing because I couldn't tell that. I was like, okay, what is he trying to do?
Even in the office के अंदर जब वो होते हैं ना, जब अपनी psychiatrist के सामने
yes,
and like he's talking about the joke वो बोलते हैं कि I wish my death would make more sense.
More sense than that
than
was
my
funny.
life. That
was funny.
And I'm like,
I don't know why people. I don't know.
it's funny. It's because like it's like it's like you're not supposed to like him. You're not supposed to understand him. You're not supposed to justify him. It's just him. It's just like
but he is right in a way, but yeah.
And again, that's another conversation.
Yeah.
That's another. That's like you taking away whatever you got out of that movie, and then analyzing in your way.
Right.
I'm like, that's more, and that's good on you. Everyone has that right to do that. But saying censorship and all that bullshit,
that's
I'm
bullshit.
like,
That's bullshit. Also, the laugh thing.
Yeah.
Like throughout the movie, we see him not able to control his laughter.
Yeah.
But in the last scene when he's on the show,
he doesn't laugh.
He laughs, but he stops.
No, that is his controlled laughter. That is his as he
laughs.
But it's a very
you see him chuckle. Yeah, no, not that. But like he chuckles, he's like, ha, yeah, and then he stops. I'm like, okay, now because we see him. Yes, exactly.
He's not pretending anymore.
Yeah,
he's not. Also because he was told. I think he finds out that it's not a condition. Like
no.
They have
it's
a conversation.
Condition to hai iski. And the condition.
It's like, yeah, I don't even know. Like he says it. I don't remember that. In one of the scenes, I don't remember which one. But there is he touches upon the fact that he's not sure if it's actually his condition or he's just.
No, that's the son. That's the son part. Is he a son of Thomas Wayne or not? And when he goes to Arkham के hospital में to steal the book, उसमें उसको से पता चलता है कि his mom was actually admitted and he was abused by his boyfriend. So that's the only, and the laugh is because of the abuse of the boyfriend. Because तुम अगर वो psychiatrist के notes वो पढ़ो कि head trauma बोलता है और physical abuse or something like that. So the head trauma was all about radiator पे बैठा हुआ वगैरह. So even the reason he has this laugh is because of the mom not saving him. And when the mom ki jo line hai, I never heard him cry. He was such a good boy. My happy boy. Uska nickname kya hai? Happy. I'm like, how ironic can you be to not see like this movie is hammering down every single time. This is not a normal guy. This is not a logical movie. This is not a typical hero's arc or hero's journey. Like even
isn't it like didn't people expect that coming into this movie?
That's the thing where like I'm like, what were you expecting?
Because the thing is, it wasn't any like unknown character that people don't know.
It's the same movie as it's basically Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
No, but it is.
But a little like ending change.
I can see that.
Like
but
American Psycho.
No. But even then, like I mean, when you talk about Joker, you know what you're going to get into. You're not going into a movie where it's going to be something else.
I mean, they probably went in watching.
I think this movie shed a very nice light on the conversation we should be having, because I think this movie respects the violence. It treats it as it is. We've been so desensitized by violence and all that. Like Avengers Endgame, mein, like 50 billion people are fighting, and we don't feel a goddamn punch.
Because that's supposed to be the good guys fighting, right?
Even the good guys, like even like John Wick, even in John Wick, he's killing.
That's what I'm saying, because it's the good guy killing. But then when you're
if you change the perspective,
exactly, you're making people question their own moral compass,
and that's uncomfortable for people to accept.
And that's why they're giving the hate. They're like, no, I'm not a bad person. Why are they making me root for a bad person?
Why I shouldn't be feeling this way?
Yeah.
Why are you making me feel this way?
And that's why
that's naughty.
Getting the hate.
That's very naughty. Yeah. Bad thought, fellas. Very bad.
Yeah. But you understand this guy. But that's the thing.
Not everyone does that. Not everyone goes to the movies for that.
Is comfortable. Yeah, nobody is comfortable enough with themselves to be able to empathize with someone.
That's the conversation I'm most interested in having.
Oh, it's
because
really fun just
like
seeing people pissed off.
I feel like I feel like the Joker is just the movie itself. It acts like a mirror.
Yeah, it is.
And it puts it in front of the audience, and whatever you see, take it or leave it.
And it's you.
It's not you.
But the difference is.
It's showing an aspect
of you that
you're comfortable with it or not.
Yeah, of course.
The difference is it's not a mirror to the character.
Yeah.
It's a mirror where you look at it and you're like, he is like this because of you. because
throughout
because you didn't pay attention to him.
yeah.
the
He is
line
invisible,
in the line in the show in the end, like he's like, oh, you all feel bad about the 3 guys, वगैरह, but if it was me, everyone would have
You
been
wouldn't
walking
even look,
over
yeah,
my
yeah.
dead body.
Yeah.
Chup, sab chup. And I'm like, he does this same thing so many times. In the first thing he does is with Thomas Wayne in the bathroom. He's like, why are you saying these to you? I don't want anything from you. Like when he starts talking about, like, your mother is crazy. I don't want anything from you. I don't want your money. Maybe some warmth, maybe a hug.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That
God damn,
bastard,
that
yeah.
scene. And then he starts laughing. I'm like, Thomas Wayne, don't do this. He's not a nice
what
guy.
if he was actually funny? What if Joker was actually funny?
He is funny.
And no, in a conventional way, I would say. You know,
That's-
and the audience would accept him. What if the audience accepted him?
No, see, I think
He would never become the Joker.
He would
would
become
never be
Bill
the
Burr.
Yeah, but
Trust me. I see the thing if
the darkness.
if he could control his darkness
जो
and
हमारी-
make it funny,
no,
he would
so
become
the
Bill Burr.
The problem with Bill Burr is he's not mentally ill.
He is not.
Yeah.
Of course
So even if he was
I'm
this
just
sadistic
I'm
in
just
his
connecting
comedy,
the comedy part, the comedy
that's what
and the
I'm saying.
darkness in comedy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even he was this sadistic in his thoughts, which a lot of comics are, which I
of
do
course.
follow. They
sure.
still have a logical world to fall back on. They
Yes,
know
yes.
what exists. They know
He
what's
doesn't.
real.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
doesn't.
but see, here's the thing.
Ek scene, sorry to cut you
sorry.
off. The scene in the comedy club when he's listening to the other guy
Hmm.
doing stand up.
Yes,
We're doing a very nice long track and shot.
Yes.
And then the best thing about the scene is everyone laughs and he looks around, why is everyone laughing? Then he says a stupid line and then only Arthur laughs. Like, you know,
Yes.
his mind is
Stands
so
out,
like
yeah.
left and like opposite direction in terms of what's logically funny or not. And that's what's frustrating to him. Like, and even after accepting that there is a problem with me, he's the most kindest person in the whole movie.
Yes.
You know, that's the whole point that he's trying to make. Like, even in the end, why don't you people realize why everyone is gone crazy, everyone is so uncivilized, why can't we be more kind to each other? Like, he's making, and that's the scene where everyone is like, you mental health pay, like it's a commentary on that.
I think people need to realize that they're watching two different characters. Arthur is a different character, and Arthur is the good guy, and then there's Joker, which is a different character, and that's what's overtaking his personality and him becoming that.
I'm not gonna use the word good guy, bad guy. I'm gonna use
No,
the
in
word
the sense,
the true Arthur. Arthur is the false character that he believes
it's
the world demands of me, and the Joker is what he is truly.
But what
become because of the
he
society.
becomes. But what I'm saying, Arthur in his true heart. That's why Arthur is likable. But then when
I don't
he
think
becomes,
he's likable.
I think he is.
But
he is likable.
no, but then Joker isn't. He is playing two different characters. It's like a split personality type of thing, and you can see that split personality when he's Arthur. He's a completely different person, but when he's the Joker, or the killer, or he's a very different person in terms of body language, in terms of the way he's talking, in terms of his expressions, everything. They're two different people.
That's for sure. That's not the
that's what for me. That's what it is. Where the film is about this guy transitioning into the Joker,
100%
transitioning
agree.
into this other personality that was stuck inside him. That is
that
trying
was
to come out.
always there because of the beatings of.
That was stuck inside.
Boyfriend,
so when you read about like multiple personality disorders and stuff, I think this is part of it.
I didn't agree with what you said. Like you said, Arthur was the image that that the world expected of him.
Yeah, my mom says that I was put here on this planet to bring joy and happiness. What the hell does that mean?
No, but that's his innocence,
that makes sense.
That's
it. Like I think he has accepted himself as being that guy who puts smile on everyone's faces.
No, he
like
thinks
it is
he has to.
in him.
No, he
even
thinks he needs to do
he
that.
thinks he needs to do that because his mom has throughout his life has been saying to him, "You're a special kid. You're a happy kid.
Right.
You will bring joy and happiness to the
right.
world." That's what he only knows because he hasn't. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't have any social interaction. So that's what he believes, right? But truly, he knows all I have are negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
जो वो book
yes.
में लिख रहा होता है,
yes.
that's his
yes.
true self
Yes.
leaking through the words.
Do you think comedy is a farce for him too? Like it's a kind of
It's a
thing.
coping mechanism, which comedy is. It's a coping
Right,
mechanism for trauma, for bad news. That's how a lot of people use
yeah,
humor
of course.
as a
yeah.
defense, as something to soothe in the blow, to just deal with shit. You
Right.
know,
But
life
yeah.
is not easy.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. I also kind of disagree to the point where I do think that Arthur, in his innocence, you would
Yeah,
say,
he,
I mean,
there
he
is
has
goodness in him.
but there is goodness in him. That goodness then loses or is lost somewhere
yes.
after he realizes that him being a good person isn't the power that he
Isn't
used
going
to have.
to
The power dynamics change when he,
yeah.
while defending himself,
Hmm.
shoots them, and then he realizes, oh wait,
This is me.
This
this is
I like this.
I like this.
I like this.
Yes.
I
this
need to
is what I
dance.
need to be. Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
my imaginary
Then I
girlfriend
won't
and,
get
and
beaten up by everybody.
and that's when I felt, you know, the scene.
I don't think it's about defense at that time. It's just like I like
no, that
this
it
feeling.
starts off like
जब remember जब वो अपने जो clerk के पास जाता है when he's doing file लेने आता है, then he's talking about I did something really stupid and I thought
Yeah.
I would feel bad, but I didn't.
Yeah. See,
That's
from,
the Joker.
yes.
He
So
was already
that is-
there.
no,
part of the
that happened
transform-
after,
yeah.
right? So
Huh.
I feel when he shot those people, that is when Arthur started to die.
Yeah,
And
for sure,
Joker
100%.
is being born.
100%.
So when I say Arthur, I'm not talking about one person. I'm talking about two different people in this scenario where Arthur is one person, the Joker is the other
Yeah,
person.
I completely agree.
And that's what I'm saying. Arthur is the good guy who, because of society, becomes the Joker. And Arthur is dead. And you see that transition,
Yeah.
and I think I think that metaphorical
Where-
thing when he
where do you-
goes
where-
inside
where-
the fridge, and then
oh yeah, oh
you know it's kind of
Yeah.
like a cocoon, and then
I
he,
think it's even later than that. I think, again, like I want to have this debate. Where do you think he truly becomes the Joker? Because I don't think it's the cocoon fridge wala moment. Because he generally has a nice, you know, जो अपने छोटे little person के, you know, he has, you know, एक funny scene करता है उसके साथ. I think if you see the movie, throughout the movie, he's like, मैं मरी के show पे जाके I'm gonna have my one last joke, which is my life. I wish my death would make more sense than my life. And I think if you see the scene again, he wanted to do this. But as he realized that Murray is still not listening to him, and he's like, but you were mean to me. And Murray is like, what do you mean by that?
yeah.
You showed me the clip. You showed the clip. You invited me here to make fun of me. So like I feel like that he was making I would say 1% of Arthur was still in him right up till the moment he shot Murray. Because again, अब मैं आ रहा हूँ plot पे. Because I feel like a lot of people are saying इस movie में story नहीं है, इसमें like plot नहीं है. And I want to dive into this as well, so you guys can piggyback from there. I feel like the plot is, I want to be seen.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the movie, he's doing the sign, he's juggling, no one gives a shit, moves. बच्चे आते मारते हैं वगैरह, ठीक है. पूरी movie देखो, he is walking, he is sitting, जो भी है, the only moment he is seen is when his Joker self gets leaked into, you know, the killing.
Yeah, it seeps into his.
The killing is the
real
first time
life.
the news
Yeah.
talks about him, and he's like,
Also,
अपनी अम्मा के
other
साथ बैठ गया.
jokers, other Joker faces, looking at him in the taxi, and you know
So
all that.
that scene. Thank you for pointing it out. That is my favorite scene in the movie. ये scene वो है जब वो अपनी girlfriend के साथ पूरी date वेट मार के he's going to see, he's seeing the newspapers about the killer clowns, and he does his करके अपना मुंह बनाता है like a little kid वगैरह, and then अच्छा watch that scene again. क्या होता है? He's looking at the paper, and then he looks right into the camera. He looks right in the camera. Then we cut to the clown in the car taxi. वो यूं करके देखते हुए जा रहा है. That's us. That's the audience.
Right.
That's the audience. He's seeing us going along, and then we cut back to him. He's still looking into the camera, and then he smiles, because that's his reward. That's his evidence that he exists.
Right.
You know, even therapy के session में वो भी कहते हैं कि I didn't even knew that I even existed. You know, I never had any, you know, happy thoughts वगैरह जो भी वगैरह. And I think the whole movie is about him just wanted to be seen, wanting to exist in the world, in front of the world. And I think killing Murray was his last joke, his last thing that everyone was talking about him. He became a messiah to these revolutionaries, which he doesn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit this political thing. He doesn't give a shit about Thomas Wayne vagara. That scene in the end when he goes into his mouth and he does this.
Yeah, with the
I
blood.
started
Oh
laughing.
yes, and he turned before he turned around, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about the last
On the
sequence.
hood of the car. I'm
Oh
like,
man,
the
blood
music,
coming in,
the way he tastes his blood in his mouth first, you know, with his tongue, and then he's like, then he gets the idea, then he does this, in such a like, you know, when you think like, it's such a like, I'm complete. You know, he literally does this, like, you know, in the end, and I'm like,
I mean, that's when it's confirmed that Arthur is 100% dead.
Yeah. No, that's
so again,
when
like I
he kills
like I feel
Yeah.
Murray is the last one because he wanted to kill himself.
No,
that was his objective.
I know, but that's the complete, like, that's the final touch.
I feel like उसके बाद जो है ना,
complete.
क्योंकि मैं उसकी justification भी था. Do you want me to give it right now, or do you want to start with the?
No, you.
Acha. Throughout the movie, he only kills the people who has been mean to him. Only kills those people. The Wall Street guys, his friend, mother, and Murray.
That was an amazing moment.
Murray, right?
When he kills the mother.
Of course. So throughout the movie, he only kills those people who have been mean to him. In the end, when he kills supposedly the new psychiatrist with the footprints, that's where the Joker is. He doesn't care anymore. He doesn't give a shit anymore. He is the Joker now. Whatever ounce of Arthur was left in him,
that's completely gone.
Was gone the moment he killed his own father figure. That was Murray. He's sitting in his mom's bed, watching a father figure talk about, and then he fantasizes about being on a show, and then Robert De Niro says to him, I wish I would give up everything to have a son like you. Then we cut back to him, he's like, dekh raha hai, Tom and Jerry ki tarah. And I'm like, I'm just like, how can people not see this? Like, as an audience member, like, I'm like, okay, I'm a Joker fan, I'm a DC fan, I'm a drama fan, I'm a cinephile. Like, I'm viewing this movie from so many different point of views. Like, मैंने अभी तक comic book के point of view से तो बात भी नहीं start किए करना. So I'm saving that for the end. But like, yeah, I wanna like give you the floor. Okay.
For me, I felt when he
favorite scene, and where do you think he turned into the Joker?
Both are the same scene.
Oh, shit.
The staircase. When he's dancing, when he's comfortable, that's when he's going down towards the show. When he's dancing, that scene.
At the show, right?
No. The steps. When he's coming down the steps, dancing and
right
coming
after
down.
he kills the friend, and then he leaves for the money shot.
Right.
Right before the cops stop in and he runs and he...
The stairs.
The staircase. That was my... Because that, for me, that was a turning point. That was like, I was like, oh, this guy is ruthless. Like, he... I mean, you know how he's ruthless? Spoilers. He killed...
Oh, we've been past spoilers like 1 घंटा 2 minutes.
I just feel bad because...
she's even wearing the headphones. She's like, can't even mute it.
He killed a person in front of a witness, and then he let that person go. And you're like, this guy does not
give a shit. Yeah, exactly.
And because I thought he's like, when he locked it from the top, I was like, okay, he might just kill him. But then
he does it again when he closes the door back, and he's like, he thinks for a second, you're a good friend of mine. He kisses on his face.
You're the only one who was nice to me. And then he...
That was the transformation, you think?
No.
After that. After that, he comes out of the house with the flowers
dance.
In his hand. Then he starts dancing, pani, वगैरह.
For me, that was like, this guy is now comfortable in this body.
In his shoes, yeah.
Like, he is still, I think, not completely there. I think because, like, why would you let someone who's innocent go again? Like that.
But that's the Joker, right? Joker is unpredictable.
Of course,
Joker is unpredictable.
Yes.
You don't know. He always, I mean, if you think about it, he always lets He always kills one person, lets one person go.
Yeah.
You know, he
Yeah,
always
yeah.
He wants to
Right.
send a message.
Yeah.
he
right?
wants to send he always does that.
It's about sending a
mean-
message.
remember Dark Knight?
Hmm.
There was
Yeah, that's
Oh
the-
yeah. You choose.
yeah, you choose. So he and
Let's have try.
It's
But
like
even in the- in
No
the-
Country for Old
even-
Man.
Yeah.
The guy.
even in the comic books, Joker always like he doesn't kill everyone. He kills
It's
one. and-
never simple with the Joker.
It's
That's
never-
the line
yeah,
from the
exactly,
Dark Knight.
yeah.
It's never as simple as it
It's like, yeah.
seems.
Yeah.
And
Toss-
this is what I love about this movie is they honor this idea of the Joker so
Hmm.
Right.
beautifully that maybe this is the movie, maybe this is the movie,
Yeah.
maybe this is what we should feel like. It's whatever you again.
Whatever you.
I
make it
don't
out to
like
be,
this
yeah.
personally when movies do this. Like it's up to your interpretation. Wagera. I think Inception did it the best way that it felt like it's an open-ended story, but Christopher Nolan put a lot of clues which hints to a
Mhm.
very concluding story.
Right.
And I feel like the reason this movie does it, or what would I say, has the right to do it, is because of the character
Because
of
of the
Joker.
Joker. Yeah. of
Because I
course.
would like my life to have multiple choice. Origins of my life.
Yeah.
What a beautiful line in the comics, but they honor that here, and that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
Go
want
You said something really interesting. Like, you said if this wasn't the famous character Joker, if it was, a new movie about a new guy,
yeah.
would you think people would talk about it that much?
No.
No.
And would you think it would still be?
No.
See,
Because there's
because
so many more violent movies even this year that got
Yeah.
released
Right.
and no one gave a shit about it.
no, but it's
but
not
the
just
character, the
but it's
complexity
not
of
ju-
the
no,
character.
my thing is because
It's
Joker.
mainstream.
No, because
it's
it's weird. It's
huh.
weird because you don't usually see a movie about a villain, right?
Right.
And and obviously when you watch a movie about a villain where the villain is supposed to be the protagonist.
Infinity War.
No.
He wins. He wins in Infinity
Yeah,
War.
but-
Not
yeah.
Endgame. Infinity
Is
War.
he the
Yeah,
protagonist?
because
Yeah.
they had to
Thanos.
make because they had to make Endgame.
That's
they
fine,
made-
but
there was
yeah,
The
yeah.
question जो पूछा था आपने उसका जवाब दिया है।
नहीं, because I don't consider
Still not there.
I
would
don't
say.
consider
Yeah,
it.
no.
I don't
No.
consider Infinity
the,
War
the,
as
the
a standalone
directors
film.
agree with me, but
Yeah,
still.
it's not.
I don't consider Infinity War as a standalone film.
I hope
because
Joker
Oh yeah,
is a
I'm
standalone
not.
film.
I'm not
Yeah.
debating on that. I'm just
Because
like as
that's-
a,
that
as a
was-
pop culture mainstream movie, we just saw it
that
last
was
year.
a cliffhanger.
Whatever it was.
Well,
It was
But-
like
but
to
I
be
get-
continued.
I get-
it wasn't movie khatam nahi
I
hua.
feel like it's not even about villains. I
But-
think it's about a very
No, but-
honest take
No, but
on this subject.
Yeah,
matter.
that's,
that
that's,
got
that's what I was
peop-
trying
no,
to
no,
people
understand.
get-
no,
like,
what I'm
would
saying
you
is, no, what I'm
still
saying,
have this debate about
no, because
the complexity and the
Nope.
the harm or the
Nishta.
dangerous
No, no,
cinema and all
but
that.
here's the
stuff.
thing. Here's the thing. You in Infinity War, you never root for Thanos, even though he wins.
No,
You
a lot of
don't-
people agreed with what he
I
was. Like
do.
they
I do.
justified. He
Yeah.
justified his motivations.
Yeah.
That's different. But you still go for the heroes, right? You
No,
still
no,
vote for
no.
the heroes.
No, I didn't.
तुम तो छोड़ो ना.
Honestly, I wasn't.
उसका Thanos का minion है यार.
हाँ.
But
वो कौन सा है? Ronin है Ronin.
नहीं, but the thing is,
वो Guardians
the guy
1
with
का.
the
No, Guardians 1 का villain जो था.
no, but here's the thing.
I
You
remember.
need in a movie.
Oh,
you need
right.
you always root
Yeah.
for the good guys, right?
You're
But the
supposed
problem
Yeah,
you're
You're
supposed to.
supposed to. Yeah.
You're supposed to. But the problem with this is not a problem.
It's
the,
not
the
a problem.
Dilemma,
Yeah.
The
The
dilemma.
beauty of this movie is.
The dilemma of this is
Mm,
that he is a bad guy,
Yeah.
and you know how bad he is because you know the character,
yeah.
and I think that's what is pissing people off, is because we know how bad the Joker is, yet we kind of feel bad for him. We kind of
Did
at
you
the
feel
end
bad
we kind
for
of
him?
want to clap for him.
As in, do you think I was
I felt bad for
sympathizing
Arthur.
with him?
I feel bad for Arthur.
Yeah. Of course.
'Cause it's not his fault he was
Is
that way.
understanding feeling bad for him?
What?
Is understanding Arthur feeling bad for him?
No, it's different.
No, it's different.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I don't.
No,
I don't think.
But I did sympathize with him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was rooting for this guy, but that's a
No,
different
I
Oh,
wasn't- no, I
Thanos
wasn't.
too. Chup raha yaar.
Yeah,
No.
matlab, I was rooting for him
Yeah,
because
here's the
you
thing.
should avenge what every wrong that's been done.
Okay, so
But
note,
that's a different
note to
philosophy.
self.
V
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Vendetta
yeah.
2, please hold.
Yeah.
Note for self, never get on Rahul's bad side. I will take you for KFC after this. I promise.
No, that's not you. That's
Yeah, but
you're not gonna pay for
yeah,
it.
still okay. Good.
No, but you have to do it tomorrow then.
Okay. Done. No, but here's the thing. What was I saying? The
You should not avenge.
Yeah.
The exact opposite of what I was saying.
Exactly. No.
Sympathizing with
Yeah,
Arthur. Feeling sorry.
I did
Feeling bad,
sympathize with Arthur, not because I wanted him to become the Joker. I wanted him. There was a moment where I was like, I wish he doesn't become that, because I felt bad for that. But that's what I'm saying. That's a challenge. That's a challenge because, like you said, if it was an unknown character, you wouldn't know how to think, because we can predict what's going to happen. We know the ending. We know how it's going to end. We know he will become the Joker. We know what he's going to do. We know that.
But you still wanted him to hold back.
I wanted him to hold back. I had slight thing. I'm like, yeah, don't. Yeah,
But
you're
you would
such
do
a
the
nice
same
guy.
when if it was an unknown or a new character.
But I wouldn't have that dilemma.
Yeah, of course.
Because I don't know that.
Yeah,
But that's the challenge, because I know, and that's where the moral questioning starts. Like when I was also sitting there and I was watching it with my wife, and we were like, something happens, we would either laugh and we would look at each other. We're like,
Are we the baddies?
Yeah.
What a funny meme है time पे.
Yeah, we're like, we're not.
Nazis
I don't think we need.
Are we the baddies?
I don't think we should be supporting this, but you still go like
10 points. Thank you.
You still go like, I kind of get it, but you're like, no, but like, nope, we shouldn't. And I think that's what everyone's talking about, where they're like, oh, the Joker is,
Just think.
Did you laugh? Sorry.
Oh yeah, like only on
out loud.
So the honking when he's leaving his office,
Yes,
like
yes,
like he
yes.
does his horn, with the dwarf friend and when that's the only two moments I think.
Really?
What else was funny?
Like his jokes.
Like
And shuru mein ek aur moment. I
his
remember
jokes
exactly,
weren't
yeah.
funny. The reaction, the moment
Yes,
became
yes,
funny because like but which moment? Because I don't think there's
like
a lot of
I don't exactly remember.
Yeah.
I do remember there were like 6 or 7 moments I laughed out loud, and people were like, "Oh shit, what's wrong with this guy?"
because like
लोग समझ रहे होंगे कि Joker यहाँ के बैठ गया है.
Yes, the CNN should reach out to you.
Yeah, I should.
CNN
I
at
should
Rahul
really
Aziz,
just watch it. Yeah, I was like,
तुमने
okay,
basically वही वाला
why am
बात
I the
कर
only
ली
one laughing?
when Arthur is laughing
Yeah,
and no one else is laughing.
He's
Yeah,
basically
matlab, that was.
You should have done the Joker
I
laugh.
was doubting myself, to be honest. Like
Jio के
am
morning
I-
show में
what
तुम्हारी
is
clip
wrong
आ रही
with
होगी.
me? Like, shit, man.
Joker Pakistan में.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
But what was your favorite scene and
Yeah, the moment that
The
made
moment,
me the
yeah.
most uncomfortable. Those are my favorites. So when
Which
he kills the mother,
I think that wasn't as powerful as it could have been.
I think it was really powerful. I saw the whole bloody crowd gasp in horror, and I was like, "Holy shit!
That
This
is-
is amazing.
That is the
This
only
is amazing." Yeah, that was the moment I was like, "Okay, now I'm really."
You know what the others? Because again, like I said, that's why Joker is the best villain ever. If you look at any other bad guy, they always protect their mother. Any other bad guy, they're
like
always
killing your
nice to
mother
their
is.
And this guy
You know,
just
that
killed
is
his
like,
mom. Like
okay.
that's like.
But she
Fuses
no.
off.
wasn't his mother.
Still,
You know,
And this is what
because
I
you
love.
had been empathizing with her too, and
Yeah.
her condition and her
But
sickness
like
and all that.
even
Shuru
like
se. So you
like I want to talk about this because do you guys notice the picture he sees when he's painting himself
yeah,
after killing the mom? He holds up a picture of his younger mom.
young mom.
He flips the picture. It's very like put the
Mhm.
5 second of shot ever. In the back it says, "You have a nice smile, TW."
you
Signed by TW.
क्या लिखा हुआ उसमें?
You have a nice smile.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's
And
TW.
TW,
And it's
Thomas Wayne.
after knowing that, he's adopted, she's crazy and X, Y, and Z. The director chose so there are 2 moments in this movie they deliberately I think put to F with people's perception of this movie. The first one is in the beginning of the movie when he's talking to a psychiatrist. He's talking about remember like I wish I was in a psychiatrist mental hospital because he liked that more, because people are is it me or people are getting more crazy out there. So there is a 5 second ka shot of him Thor,
Yes.
Thor,
Yes.
Thor, and he's old. And in the book, in the file that he steals, it's about him being a kid. He was tied to a radiator when the mom was young. So this is the first scene, and the second scene is where he sees the picture, he flips it, and it's like, you have a nice smile, TW, hinting again. Maybe she was telling the truth. Maybe she was mentally unstable, but it was Thomas Wayne's bastard son, and they planted the file into the hospital.
Right.
They
because in one of the comics they also bring it up where Batman finds out that the Joker is his
I think
brother.
वो अभी recent
Recent
में कुछ
वाली,
हुआ है.
I recently read that comic. तो उसमें
and
Batman goes like completely mad. He's like, what?
But I was so when it happened कि Thomas Wayne is his dad, I'm like, ओरे यार comic book movie है. फिर मैंने कहा अबे यार ये comic book movie नहीं है. Why are we doing this? And then finally when Thomas Wayne said, first Alfred के scene में he's like, you know, he's not your dad. You know, she was crazy, and like, I don't want to talk to you about it. Thomas Wayne के पास जाता है, फिर उससे बोलता है, फिर अपनी अम्मा से पूछता है, फिर वो जाता है फाइल लेने. जब फाइल में लिखा होता है adoption paper, name unknown, abandoned child. I'm like, yeah, thank you for doing this to this character. Still respecting this character's, you know, जो 2-3 चीज़ें in terms of जैसे Superman की तरह वो है कि like, you know, Krypton always gets destroyed, या Batman की crime alley में लोग parents get died वगैरह. तो like
and then they mess you up again by revealing behind the picture.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's a very
the
subtle
same
thing,
scene, right?
so not everyone could.
I probably didn't notice that.
I saw the picture.
Yet to
I
watch.
didn't saw the words
word,
properly.
yeah.
फिर reviewer ने एक mention किया, फिर when I saw it again, I was
Actually,
like,
I noticed
I've
that
yet
when
to
he
see
turned
it.
it, I noticed I saw
लिखा हुआ क्या है
TW लिखा हुआ, and I was like,
so I'm like, this movie deliberately goes out of its way to confuse the audience, to plant the doubt in the audience. Maybe this is all imagination,
because that's what the Joker is.
That's what the Joker is, like, you know, and that's the movie. It's this. It's a lot of things. It's not just one thing.
Did you see it coming when they
Zazie
show
Beetz,
you
the girlfriend?
that the girlfriend is not really?
Honestly, I was so involved with the performance and story.
I
It was a
didn't
very.
I didn't notice.
I didn't notice either, and
Yeah.
I am so
To be honest,
eagle aware of these kind of
Yes,
things.
Yes.
And when that happened, I'm like, like,
Yes.
I'm like,
I thought that was
'Cause
one of the
to
things
be-
that was keeping him sane.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it was, but it was his own.
And
that's
also
the
to
character.
be
You don't
honest-
know what to believe.
Exactly.
Also, to be honest, like I kind of believed that he's
No.
I believed that he's not making it up, because again the power play, he goes to her after he kills those persons. I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
he
Right.
has
She
that
liked that.
confidence,
Exactly.
yeah. So I was like, because वो जो scene हुआ था when they go out of the elevator and he does that and she gives a smile, and so I was like, maybe
But
That
they
was an
kind of
awkward.
into
That
it.
was a very awkward.
I know, but
Exactly.
smile, yes.
So
it was an awkward smile, but still,
Yeah,
like I mean, you kind of like.
But
And then
watch
go
the
to-
movie again and watch the performance of Zazie Beetz, like the girl who's playing Arthur's girlfriend. She did such a remarkable job of, this is such a subtle character कि उसको इतने से कम टाइम में उसने अपना इतना बड़ा character reveal करना है. जो ये moment है ना, when he does the gunshot to her,
Yeah.
literally quarter of a second की smile देती है, and then she goes normal,
Yeah.
like she doesn't give a shit, and then he goes into her apartment.
Yeah.
जब वो वापस उसके मिलने आती है, जब वो कहती है were you following me or not वगैरह, he starts flirting with her like the Joker की physicality में.
Exactly, and
Blue
that
करके खड़ा हुआ है.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a gun. I can come tomorrow
Yeah.
maybe, and like, you know, so like
Yes.
Joker doesn't have any
that
game.
was very uncharacteristic of him in a way.
And
Like at that point.
see, and that's why I was like, maybe this is shift in power play where
Yeah.
he has that confidence now, and then so when he goes to the apartment and she's like
Who are you?
you're in the wrong
Yeah.
Acha,
Oh
like,
yes.
And I was like, अच्छा मुझे उस वक्त hit नहीं हुआ. मैंने कहा maybe she फटा वटा हुआ है, कुछ हुआ हुआ है. And when she says, can I call your mom? I'm like, huh? And then he turns around and then she freaks out, and then he does this. But do you think he killed her?
I was
No.
gonna ask you that. Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
There is a subtle clue.
I know, but
Wee-oo, right after that
Yes,
scene, he's
yes,
in,
yes,
in his
he
underpants
kills her.
laughing, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
piche.
You hear the ambulance.
Yeah, piche ambulance aati
I
hai.
think he kills
I don't
her.
think he kills her.
I think he kills her.
I don't think he kills her.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't.
Are
think
they
he
just
did.
fucking with
the
you
way
again?
he exits the door, the apartment of her apartment, and the music jam full Inception type, but then dark music बजती है, and he's like यूं करके थक की तरह हल की तरह चलते हुए आ रहा होता है. I think that is the only moment I felt like the editing was not as powerful as it should be. I wish that moment should have translated right into the mom killing. क्योंकि क्या होता है, ये अपार्टमेंट से निकलता है, he goes into the house, he starts laughing, ambulance आती है, fades out, fades in.
Yeah.
Next day अपार्टमेंट में अपनी अम्मा के पास साइड में बैठा है.
Hospital में.
Right.
It's the same sequence.
Yeah,
सिर्फ
yeah.
और टाइट कर देते. उसका जो crescendo था
उस
गर्ल के
direct,
revelation का, just
carry the
just
momentum
carry the
into-
momentum
yeah,
over
yeah,
there
yeah.
into the
Right.
mom. वो और gut punch मिलता. वो
I
music
think
के साथ.
I don't think he killed her. I think because when he realized, so I think Arthur came back in that moment, and my idea was, I don't know.
No, Arthur didn't came back in the moment. I think
No.
Joker came back in the moment. Arthur was
Achha,
the
Arthur
moment.
was the
Yeah,
mo- yeah,
Arthur
yeah.
was Arthur के दिमाग में थी ना ये.
But yeah, but I don't think he killed her.
I don't think he killed
I think he killed her. Yeah.
There's no suggestions that he killed her.
I mean, except the ambulance, but I think
No,
it's
but-
a pretty obvious thing to, fuck with you. The ambulance thing.
It's suggested that
Yeah,
he
yeah,
kills her
it's-
because
yeah.
the music kicks in, he's walking
Yes.
very aggressively and everything. But I don't think he kills her because she didn't do anything wrong to him.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I feel like the whole movie, the only person he kills deliberately is the
Right,
last
right.
psychiatrist,
Right.
Yeah.
because he's the Joker, because he says, "You won't get it." What do you find so funny? He sees Bruce Wayne crime alley में दोनों मब्बा पड़े हुए, and he's like, "You won't get it." That's a reference to the Killing Joke. Joker की origins, one of the most famous origin
Yeah.
story books, The Killing Joke. उसकी एक animated movie आई थी. Do check it out if you haven't. उसके अंदर end में there's a very nice homage to this joke है, like एक जो killing joke, like punchline वाली joke होती है. There's another very important line in this image, in this movie. I think that summarized this movie for me at least. जो मरी के साथ जब वो बैठा होता है, वो knock का joke बोल रहा होता है, और वो कहता है कि I'm waiting for the punchline. जब वो कहता है कि I killed the Wall Street people, and then मरी कहता है I'm waiting for the punchline.
Yeah.
There is
There's
no
no
punchline.
punchline.
And then everyone's like, that's the movie. There's no message. There's
Yeah.
no
Right.
हम ये हैं और ये
Yeah.
वो है.
And the joke preceding that.
कौन सा वाला?
It's the police. It's the
For like there's like
Oh man, that was amazing. That was a
like I like छोटे से I'm gonna start hinting Easter eggs वगैरह. The font on the Murray show, the Murray का जो live show, it's the same font as the Batman animated series of the 90s.
I noticed that.
I'm like, that is such a beautiful nod to it. The moment when he's in the police car at the end, that's kind of like an
Dark
homage
Knight.
to the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is truly it, because if you see the bus scene in the beginning, जब वो बच्चे
Yeah.
के साथ बैठा होता है, that's basically the shot is kind of representation of that.
Yeah.
Even the
yeah.
taxi one, it's kind of the shot is very similar.
कौन सा टैक्सी वाला?
जब वो sorry taxi जो पुलिस कार के पीछे बैठा होता है when he's looking at.
It is similar,
It
but
is
it's
very-
I feel like I
when I saw that, I was
I
like,
saw it.
Dark
I was
Knight.
like, oh, ये तो Dark Knight का shot है.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will give it to him, but I think it's just a mirror representation of an earlier shot that happened in the beginning of the movie. जब वो बस में शीशे से बाहर देख रहा होता है, he's sad, and then he
yeah,
sees the
so-
kid.
Full
But still the
circle,
entire
it's a different
composition
feeling.
and the moment, I think it was an homage to
Just the
Dark
ending.
Knight.
The ending of this movie where he just does the smile and
Oh,
the
man.
music
So-
is like,
That was the moment I almost was like,
everyone is
one-
like, everyone is
Yes.
like, get up,
So
get up.
Yes.
so
get
one
up,
one
get up."
question.
Yeah.
Oscar ले जाएगा boy. Walking, not the movie, maybe.
So yeah,
Walking.
the sad realization is like, Oscar is too political now.
yeah.
No, but do you
and
think
I think he should, but
It's
he probably
impossible for the Oscars to ignore his performance. Listen, Jim Carrey got nominated and won Best Actor for The Truman Show in Golden Globes. He didn't even got nominated in the Oscars. Imagine that. So like these games happen. If you don't play by the rules, and if it's not
Oscar is
like
more,
and this doesn't play by the rules.
this
I don't
is the
think-
complete opposite of the rules. Like it's about a
Yes.
villain.
No, but I
You're not
feel-
supposed to
Yes.
feel nice. You're not supposed
but
to
I
root
feel
for him.
if he isn't, then there will be backlash.
Like he'll be nominated.
Listen, every year there
but
is a
I don't
movie or
think
there is
he-
a
yeah.
award that is a backlash to like
Mm.
there's so many awards that like for me, like I don't know, I'm forgetting a movie. या कोई award था पता नहीं. Like for me, Interstellar or even Inception not winning best score is an atrocity. Like score के लिए चलो movie
Right,
जो भी है,
yeah.
you cannot deny the intensity of the score. Anyways, back to this movie. I need to give a shout out to Todd Phillips. Like people are not giving him enough credit. Like he pulled it off. It was his idea. It was his push. He was the producer. He's the writer. He's the director. He brought in Joaquin. He brought in Scorsese.
And he wrote it thinking it.
Yeah,
it's
like
going to be
for
Joaquin,
Joaquin, and I'm like you need to give. The whole movie is on Joaquin's shoulders.
Oh yeah.
Like
of course.
there's so many moments. Like he's just like you don't see performances like these often.
You don't. Yeah.
I think the last I would have seen was Gary Oldman in Darker Star. Where I just don't see Gary Oldman anymore.
Right,
I just can't see him anymore. Even though there was a lot of makeup, वगैरह, but he was Churchill in that movie. I think before that, I would say I always give Frances McDormand a huge shout out for 3 Billboards. For me, there are very few movies that have genuinely like had a very visceral. I had a very visceral experience in
watching
some movies.
Absolutely.
When the scene where the billboards are on fire, and the son is like, let it go, mom, we can't fix it, and then she just yells out his name, Bobby, like let me go. This is the only thing I have. This is the only thing that's keeping me from not going insane. I felt it in my heart, and there are very few moments I have felt.
Even Sam Rockwell.
He's one of my favorite actors of all time as well. But like this movie, man.
But even we have to give props to the cinematographer.
Lawrence Sher. This guy.
Do you know उसने क्या किया हुआ है?
Sorry?
All these Todd Phillips movies.
Hangover and
War Dogs.
I haven't.
All these.
the cinematographer.
He's the same guy who's been with Todd
Phillips.
Okay.
But it's like just like sticking with your friends is like you get to end up with a movie like this.
I mean, Aronofsky does every movie with Clint Mansell as a score.
Like I'm a big fan of Clint Mansell. I need to listen to his recent scores. Moon ka score for me is like one of the best scores of all time.
Moon is amazing. Queen for a Dream is amazing. Of course.
But I think it's almost like 1.5 hours almost now. And like for me, like I think I can keep talking for another 5 hours probably, because I haven't even talked about the comic side.
Please don't, I gotta pee.
Because for like I know I want I'm just gonna rattle off some points, and I want to comic ki side se tum logo ki, because in the end it is a comic book movie. Like for me, I think
I don't want to really consider it among that bunch, because honestly
it is a comic book. It's the label.
But
it is not like Logan. I don't think Logan is
borderline. I would put it up to put it next to Logan basically.
Exactly. No, but even this goes further. I think it borderlines into art house in a way.
I hope
I put Logan in art house.
I really hope.
Almost there in a way. In a good way.
Can we just stop using labels now? Can we just treat movies for what they are?
But I really
stop
hope
putting movies in a box?
They don't put this Joker with the Batman.
Yes, please
I
don't.
I do not want
the
them to
best
make another
character,
movie.
one of the greatest villains with one of the most fucking boring characters of all time, Batman. Like, how do you connect? I don't want to connect these two. I don't want.
3 है ना ये? अब बोल. बोल. बदतमीज.
अच्छा, unmute कर दिया, ठीक है. I didn't even say.
You just miming?
No, I wasn't even miming. I didn't even say a word.
I think you're completely wrong when you say Batman is the most boring character of all time.
I mean,
you can't say that, because if you say Joker is the best villain of all time, you have to recognize that the Batman is the best character of all time. So it's simple maths.
Really. No,
not
really.
Quick maths.
Not really.
2 + 2, 4.
Not really. I don't go with your shitty maths.
I feel like talking. So comic book. I think this movie does a very nice job of similar job like the Rogue One. Rogue One देखी थी किसी ने यहाँ पे? Star Wars की.
Yeah.
Rogue One did something really interesting for the original Star Wars, that it justified why the Death Star had a flaw, right? That's the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie justifies the killing of Thomas and Martha Wayne a lot better than
Then
them
all the
just
other-
exiting
yeah.
a theater and then "नहीं यार हम किस गली से निकलते हैं." Instead of having an actual
Right.
riot and chaos,
Right.
and then okay, this is a reason to act a bit stupid, you know. So I think I'll give the credits for that. I feel like honoring the Joker origins, like we don't know who he is. There's so many like, I don't know, man. Like there's so many tiny things that you can like, you know, background में Arkham, Gotham के बारे में, Arkham Asylum के बारे में.
Yes.
There's so many tiny
everything.
hints.
But I would also like to add, especially people who probably haven't seen it or have seen it. An important thing, I don't think we should compare the Jokers.
Yes.
No, we should.
These are because they're two very different characters they're playing
At different stages in their
as
life.
different stages in their
They're-
lives. They're
Yeah.
very two
Yeah.
different characters, and I mean, I don't think, I mean, I've been seeing different people posting that I'm sorry, but Heath Ledger is still better.
I've been
Joker.
seeing a lot of people say
Walking.
Actually, I've been seeing like
outperform,
Heath Ledger
you
is
know.
better Joker, but I
You know what's
don't-
funny about all of this? And again, this might be a tipping point for a lot of people in terms of like, who do you root for? Heath Ledger had 15 minutes of screen time. Walking had 2 hours.
Yeah.
And the fact that we still hold Heath's performance to such
No,
a
that's
pedestal.
Right.
But I think the reason for that is there was Batman in it.
yeah. I mean,
That's
so-
why we love Heath's performance, because you complete me.
no, but
yes.
ठीक है?
Yes.
but see,
yes,
here's the thing.
right.
This is
I
a
think
different
for-
movie. This
for
I
those-
feel like this is a totally
No,
different character.
But see, that's what, but for those people comparing, I think Heath Ledger was the Joker.
Yes, exactly. This is
This-
becoming the
this-
Joker.
I
he
mean, this is a
wasn't the
coming
Joker.
of age for
The Joker
villains,
came-
essentially.
Good point.
Basically, the Joker came in the last moment
Yeah.
in this. Like, he's not.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is
Yeah.
not the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix is Arthur, who becomes the Joker.
Right, I feel like
Yeah,
right
that's
up
the
till the
thing,
point he
yeah.
kills Murray. I think that's the last moment of Arthur
Yeah.
that sheds away. He
And-
he shoots him again, and then he does like a tiny dance,
No,
like
yeah.
record ke saath, and then he goes to the the camera, and then he starts speaking.
That's a good
And that was
homage
a-
to
the
the
animated
original
series.
TV series
Yep,
wala.
yep.
Oh, which one?
The 1960s wala.
There are so many moments. They're Joker moments. They're
Yeah.
famous for having like, you know, very awkward moments with the Joker, and I feel like the dwarf ka scene is a perfect Joker
Oh,
moment. The end Murray ka scene, that's a beautiful Joker moment. Like there's so many like Joker moments that, like, you know, it's supposed to be funny, awkward, dumb, scary in the span of like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so I think that's the character.
So you don't know how to feel exactly
No, it's like,
about him.
how can you relate to this character?
Right.
Who can't even relate, he can't even
Relate to
understand, he can't even understand who he
So-
is. He's imagining half of his life with his girlfriend, who usko amma ke
But isn't that why you relate to him?
No, but
no,
So, okay.
no, like,
I won't
listen,
say-
we
nahin, I will just,
listen, understanding
I'll just go.
understanding
I
and
don't relate to him.
relating are two different things.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what I love about this movie a lot, is a lot of people are being very careful about how they describe their views.
Right.
It's
right.
forcing them
Yeah.
to think really specifically. Should I say I love this character, or I understand this character, or was I rooting for him, or was I like I get it, you know, I get what he went through, or where did he end up.
So
you know?
so just to conclude this.
Yes.
I think we're all on the same page when it comes to
I
the movie.
don't think so. I think I think you
No,
ha-
in
you
the sense that we all loved it.
Oh, sir, yeah.
I mean,
watch this
obviously we
movie.
can have
Watch
Yes,
this movie,
yeah,
for God's
I mean, we
sake.
can have our own
Oh.
opinions on why we liked it. That's something
Exactly.
else, and
Yes.
that's the beauty of film. Or it's
I
supposed
also
to be.
think he
But- sorry.
borrowed the dance from Shah Rukh Khan, which I made a
Johnny,
photo of.
Johnny.
Yeah. No.
ढूंढे तुझे
No,
नहीं-
हमको हमी से चुरा लो ना मोहब्बतें वाला.
अच्छा, sorry, नहीं.
I'm sure he
This
did.
whole thing.
Mute, mute.
Yeah, he did.
Mute.
you do that again, I'll
नीचे से लाओ.
bash it.
But,
I'll be like this.
before we go, what are you excited to watch next? What's coming up? What
Shit,
are we-
कौन सी थी?
Gosh. The Lighthouse
अभी release हो गई?
and Marriage Story. No, these two.
Marriage Stories I've heard like okay.
like Siam.
Jojo Rabbit.
was it?
Yes.
Oh.
Woo! Taika Waititi, Scarlett Johansson, Sam Rockwell.
The Nazi one.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Not the Nazi
Yes.
one. The Nazi one.
The
Yeah.
Nazi one.
Let's
Yes,
have the
yes,
context
yes,
right, everyone.
yes.
Don't want
Yeah.
another article to be written about
course.
this very
No, more
famous
articles,
and
it's good. Like
But,
there's
popular
no
podcast.
bullshit.
But I mean, even
Online.
even then, like, not a lot of. I think the
Actually,
seasons
with a
also
list of
ended, so
films I needed
maybe
to
now
watch.
you'll get movies that are.
this
hoping
is
for
the Oscar season has
This is the
started.
Oscar season has
Joker
started,
kicked
yeah.
off the Oscar season.
Yeah.
Oh, there is Honey Boy.
Honey Boy,
Honey Boy.
From Shia
Shia
LaBeouf.
Honey
Shia
Boy.
LaBeouf.
There's
another
Beautiful
movie.
Boy.
Sorry?
There's a Shia LaBeouf
That's Honey
directed one. That's Honey Boy, right?
Honey
Say-
Boy और एक और भी है इसकी 2 मूवी आ रही हैं इस दफा.
Yeah.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
That's the 2
Ah,
movies.
yes, you
So I
mentioned
think I feel like a lot of people are putting Peanut Butter Falcon as the top.
Yeah.
But अभी Joker के बाद देखते हैं क्या होता है. Because
And
Joker.
there is a movie called Seberg. I don't know. It's a
haven't s-
biopic or
I
something.
don't
Kristen
know.
Stewart has apparently done an amazing job in that.
Okay.
I heard. So I've made a list of all these ones.
For-
Uncut
for me-
Gems.
For me, Jojo
Waiting for
Rabbit
the
is going to be
Barbarians. Johnny Depp.
What's Johnny Depp doing?
Waiting for the Barbarians. I
Oh.
don't know what that.
What
exactly
shows? Any
is.
shows you guys are watching?
Peaky Blinders.
Succession. I started Succession.
I
Finished season
saw,
1. Really good. Really good.
I saw Unbelievable
Oh, is it?
on Netflix.
Is it good?
मैंने
I
क्यों?
really liked
is
it.
it an
Why am I
Great film.
forgetting वो क्या
It
है?
was about the
I've seen it.
serial rapist and the girl, the 2 cops trying to find a serial rapist.
Why am I still forgetting this?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Is it a show or a documentary?
It's a show.
It's a show.
Oh,
There are
yes.
2 female detectives.
Ah, yeah.
Based on a true
Tony
story.
Collette, यार क्या हो गया?
Yeah,
boys?
Tony. Yeah. it's based on-
Hereditary की वो.
Right.
She should have been nominated for
right,
Best
right.
Actor. That's
Yes.
what I was thinking.
Yes.
That was a good show as well. Unbelievable.
Did you see The
I
Spy
liked
with
I-
Sacha Baron?
No.
I've heard.
The
it's-
Spy मैंने देखी. I
Yeah.
finished it. It's a bit rocky in the beginning.
Acha.
End में थोड़ा बहुत it kind. But I
Is it worth watching? Is it?
if you have time, that's what I'll
Acha,
give it.
nee, I don't.
Yeah, if you
I
don't have
don't
time,
have
then you can skip
have
it.
time.
Yeah, it's not something that.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. So hopefully we don't have another long gap in between. And
Fingers
आप
crossed.
लोग-
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Watch
So-
the Joker again,
yeah.
everyone.
Or watch it for the first time.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
the second time.
Or just walk them through it. So,
Or
yeah,
we can
Wah,
we can
wah.
re-narrate it to you
Wah,
next time as
wah.
well.
step by step commentary
Yeah.
होती है ना directions.
Like we can play it here and then we can just do the whole.
All right. Thank you for
Alrighty.
joining in. Then hopefully see you next week.
Woo!
Let's see.
Let's-
And
Okay.
goodbye.